This is Florida Natural Farming at Frog Valley Tropical Fruit Farm. And I'm gonna go and look at some trees that are fruiting and check the status of the fruit. And look at some new plants that I got. Some tropical fruit trees. Talisia olivaeformis, the kayaka. Sorry if I'm saying it wrong. And the red Atemoya, the red-fleshed Atemoya. So that's good. I'm excited about that. I knew I wanted that tree as soon as I heard about it. And I want to look at my houseplants for a second before I go out and do that. Because I bought these plants to improve our orchard floor. We're biodynamic certified, organic certified, rare tropical fruit farm and rare plant farm. And we're only about 6 years old, and most of it was planted from seed. Of course, these are all young anthuriums and philodendrons, but on this table is all anthuriums. And they do really good in the biodynamic compost, and they grow different fungi in the pots. This is Anthurium Angamarcanum. This is Anthurium metallicum. This is, the expensive one. But look at this Anthurium Angamarcanum. This plant was a seedling because I try to buy the small plants if I can find them, because they're expensive, and so if you buy them small you can get them cheap. So I try to buy all the ones I like, and I'm pretty much there. I have a few plants, but it's nothing that I need to rush out and get. Some I can't find. Philodendron fragamentissimo, something like that, the fragrant one, the one they use for essential oils, for fragrance. I can't find that one here, and I want it, so if anybody wants to trade for anything, I would like to get that. So this Anthurium, the Anthuriums form relationships with fungi in our compost. And you can clearly see that this Angamarcanum is completely colonized by what is probably mycorrhizae. And it's growing out the pot now. I just find that just fascinating. I've never seen it do it with any of the other ones yet, but I imagine it will. And this plant came, a lot of y'all that grow these houseplants know that you get burnt leaves. These are the 2 leaves that came from the nursery. And they were tiny little leaves, and this plant really didn't do anything for a long time. And now it's got this new leaf, and it's sending out another one right away, which seems to be what they do. So I know that the fungi that grows inside plants increases leaf size on the plants that they've studied it on, and water holding capacity in the tissue of the leaf. The fungi increase that in plants. And the ones that grow inside the plant, probably with the help of the other ones, would be my guess, because it's not a one, it's a team effort. It's all, people put fungicides on their houseplants. Fungicides mixed with the chemicals is like a really toxic system if you're doing it indoors. Especially if you're using insecticides. I know most of you don't use the insecticides, you use soap, but still, the fungicides and the fertilizers are highly toxic, and I don't eat them. I joined a Vero Beach started a rare tropical fruit club, and they had a meeting the other night, and it was the first meeting, and I was invited by somebody I met through my channel to go, because I'm not on Facebook, and I guess that's where everyone gets their information. So I went, and I was really impressed that everyone I talked to grows organically there, which is a nice, pleasant surprise, considering how everyone grows and just ignores. But they don't, they wanted, you know, there's taste testings at different tropical fruit clubs, like the Treasure Coast Tropical Fruit Club and blah, 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 blah. But nobody, like, tells you how the plants were grown. So I don't consume chemicals, so I can't ever go to anything like that, because I just won't do it. And I'm kind of weird about that. But I feel strongly about it, and I just can't believe people are just willing to eat chemicals. And the tropical fruit in Florida is grown with a lot of them, so in a lot of places. So it was nice to see that Vero Beach is kind of progressive in the organic thing, especially for Florida. Small town. Considering how it is, it just drops when you go like inland a little bit here. The farms are all chemical farms. So this is my Talisia olivaeformis that my friend gave me, and he's like a super plant hoarder. He gave me 2 of them, and this is my little red Gefner Atemoya, and this is like a giant kale. It looks like the African kale, tree kale, but it's supposedly a warm weathered one, but that's what it looks like. So you could just cut it and plant it. But I've had African tree kales here, and they only last like 2 years, so it's not like they're continuous here in the tropics, or when you have tropical weather. So this is a, why is this like not focused? There we go. This is a Spanish lime that's looks really good considering it's just coming off the drought. And I've noticed some of our mangoes are now starting to bloom, like a lot. I went in the back, and the mangoes in the back, and some of them that hadn't bloomed yet are like got blooms all over them. So that's kind of never happened here before, because it seems awful late, and the ones that are doing it are mangoes that had never done it before, like the fruit punch. And who else do I see? A 4th bloom on our Namdakmai, one of them, the ones that's in the most shade. So this is a Kwai Muk tree. I was kind of surprised that people at this thing didn't know what a lot of these fruit trees were. Like this is my favorite fruit, the Kwai Muk, and this is the 2nd year it produced its first fruit last year. This is a grafted tree I got from Excalibur, and we have 2 different varieties of Kwai Muk trees, and the fruit looks like there's quite a bit of them, and this one will continuously bloom on those bits that didn't fruit, so until it sets more fruit. These trees produce about 2,000 pounds of fruit. You can see the little white fruits. 2,000 pounds of fruit a year, like the same amount as the Achachairu. Achachairu's produce 2,000 pounds of fruit per year. And the seeds of this sell for like $5 each, at least. The organic seeds probably more. And some of the fruit, little tiny fruit, it's my favorite fruit, has had 7 seeds in it. So that's $35 for, you know, a little tiny fruit that it produces at maturity, like probably, I don't know, got to be 8,000 of them. It's about 2,000 pounds because they're not very big fruits, not very heavy. I'd say it'd take 4 to be a pound. So yeah, I don't know if that's why it's my favorite fruit, but it's the flavor, my mouth's watering thinking of it, kind of like the Imbe. So I've been selling the Imbe seeds for $5 each, and I think that's a deal. I looked online, and that the Tradewinds Fruit was selling them for $5 each. They're in Sonoma County, California. You can't even grow Imbe fruits. So where are you getting your seeds from? I know you don't have a farm. These are organic seeds off of a hermaphrodite tree, biodynamic certified seeds, and I can inoculate them with compost if you want, but they're $5 each. Have a limited supply. If you're near here, I have fruit, so I could sell the fruit for $5 each, and usually get 2 seeds from some of the fruit. So they're a nice little tree. I'm planting all the seeds I don't sell here, so, and I'm buying some of them. Is this thing gonna produce fruit this year? This ice cream bean? That looks like a fruit right there. That looks like a little miniature fruit set on this ice cream bean. Maybe not, but it looks like it. All the others dried up, but that one's green. I guess that's how it is. It's shaped like the fruit. I expect this tree to produce fruit this year. We have 4 different types of ice cream beans. I thought about going and looking at the I didn't even see this mango. I mean, the mango. Ew. I didn't even see this jackfruit on this tree. This tree produced 8 fruit last year. Delicious little tiny fruits, gold, crunchy, or yellow and crunchy, and small fruits. Very good tree. It's I don't know what it is. I got it at Excalibur. That's good. I like it. I love jackfruit. In fact, I don't really crave it like I do. I had to start a new little path there. Couldn't get through. I don't crave it like I do the Imbe and the Kwai Muk when it's not in production. I don't know why that is. Those 2 fruits I crave when they're not fruiting, but my mouth waters when I think of them. But maybe it's the sweetness, I don't know, but I love them. I love jackfruits. We have about, I don't know, 20 jackfruit trees. Most of them seed grown. Various sizes. So hopefully this tree will produce fruit this year, more fruit. This sweet tart tree. This is our tree tomatoes, and I have been wanting to try this fruit for so long, and this tree is really producing up a storm, so I'm quite happy about that. And I don't water it. It's everything here is dry farmed. Even the ginger. Dry farm meaning I don't water anything. Except for, you know, my My pots indoors, I water those, but not the pots outdoors. This is a diamond mango tree that got hit pretty hard from the freeze, which is mostly all melted off. There's some left, but it looks like it wants to flower. This tree has flowered 4 times for us in the past. So I'm sure it's going to flower again. Looks like it's getting ready to flower. It's the Imbe fruit tree. There's quite a bit of fruit on it still. Guess I should look at it, maybe eat a fruit. Yeah, it's a nice little tree. Everyone should grow one in their yard here in Florida. So easy and productive. It's just, for some reason it gets scale on the stems when the fruit's ripe. But it doesn't get it on the tree or really on the fruit, just on the stem, and the stem falls off. So pick some of these. Breakfast. The Garcinias, I guess, well, not I guess, are full of phytochemicals, human beneficial phytochemicals. I think it was mostly in their leaves, but the skin of the fruit and the roots, everything. So I make a fruit leaf tea from Garcinias. Look at this. This is a compacted area. You can tell because after 3 years, it's still a short monocrop lawn. And this lychee tree did the worst of all the lychee trees I planted. And it's because of the compaction. This was a lawn for like 57 years or 57 years. And after 3 years, that's as tall as the grass got of not mowing. That's compaction. Severe compaction from lawn. Really, you have to like break it up a little bit, I think. I didn't do that, and I wish I had in parts that I know are compacted. But after 6 years, it's starting to get other stuff growing in it. Other trees. I need to put some bananas in there. They seem to fix it. If anything can fix it at this point, just start adding stuff to it. Eventually it will get fixed. And add manure. I shouldn't be eating this fruit because I can't talk while I'm sucking on the seeds. So little mangoes seedlings from last year are doing fine. This is one of those areas where it was like compacted. The grass just, and you're talking, I did so many inputs. Everything I did to everywhere else, I did to this area like twice as much. I planted vegetables here last winter, dry farm vegetables, and Bits of them are still left. But I have little trees coming up that are finally growing in here, little cashew seedlings, and bananas, and mangoes, and achachas, some Luke's garcinias. And then along the edge here I have citrus, all seed grown, and sugar cane that I just did this winter. Citrus I did this winter. Kwai Muk trees. Citrus trees planted during the drought. Seed grown plants that survive not being watered and are planted like early winter here. Citrus are like so easy here in Florida. It's kind of surprising that they destroyed Florida citrus. People are eating chemicals. That's what's going on. I even have ended friendships because people use coco coir. Because they get mad at me because I say, oh my God, you're using coco coir, and then they're like, they get offended by it. Like, oh please, you can't be a friend of mine. I mean, you can be my friend, but not like, you can't get offended when a biodynamic farmer that makes its own compost doesn't like your store-bought crap. Here's the Luke's garcinias. They're doing good. I saw this little guanabana tree seed that I planted last summer. I planted like 100 seed-grown guanabana of a variety that fruits in inland Indian River County, like Fellsmere. And it doesn't look the healthiest, but it was really dry here, and it looks pretty good considering. I picked a couple of those or one of them, the orange sherbet mango. It's because it was low hanging and it looked like something the mushrooms in our manure we put down. Rose apples. Hey Mary, here's our little kumquat tree. I put a pile of manure to it, and it's a little seed-grown tree. Well, I saw this mushroom yesterday coming out of the ground, and I love the corrugated, or the texture on it. This comes out of our manure. This is the African peach, Nauclea latifolia. Looks like a really good fruit. It's a big fruit. Tastes like a strawberry. Looks like a strawberry. This is a fruiting cacao. That's, you know, now that we got water, it's like sending out all new growth. Green growth. Is that? Yeah. On all the branches. So that's good. I expect it to start flowering and set fruit. There's still some fruit that like set and has rotted off that didn't develop on it. This finger lime tree. It's just amazing, all this stuff that does so well without any help from us, with just a little manure here in Florida. It's a Garcinia intermedia. Those are not my favorite Garcinias. Here's our, this thing was getting a little too overcrowded by the grass, so I had to bend it back and like crimp the grass. This is our Talisia florescii, the Kolak fruit. And we got about 3 plants of this. So different than the one that my friend gifted me. The 2 trees that he gifted me. Thank you, Frank. It's a Garcinia dulcis seed-grown tree. I don't know. We've got a lot of little seedling Garcinia dulcis and Garcinia macrophylla and Garcinia I can't think of it. Oh, acuminata, or is that madruno? I don't know. I think it is. Citrus are all doing very good. Let's see, the shade-grown citrus, you know, they seem to do better than the citrus that are in the sun. All my heliconias that I divided this winter are popping now that they have rain. All that freeze damage is disappearing. So look at this philodendron Sharonae cutting I did. It's got new growth. This is a new leaf, and then this is new growth. And the leaves on this get, I know, at least 4 or 5 feet long. So that's gonna look really good climbing up this tree. And then the orchids could latch on and get their nutrients from the philodendron. Because we don't water the orchids or fertilize them either. So we try to create a totally fungal rich environment, which you get with low nitrogen inputs, meaning below 5% total nitrogen in what you're applying, and in small amounts. So figure out how many pounds. We put 26 pounds of nitrogen per acre per year, which is tiny. Biodynamic says I can buy nitrogen inputs and apply up to 85 pounds a year. You know, manure inputs. They're supposedly closed loop. It's crazy. Totally freaking insane. These nutrient, the nutrient schemes, you know, the nitrogen, focusing on the nitrogen. Everyone's so off on how much to apply. When we listen to the University of Florida, they'd say, oh, 240 pounds for your grapefruits per acre. It's like, oh my God. These little cycads are starting to pop up in here. They're really hard to see. I guess once they get a little bit bigger, I could put my philodendrons underneath them, the crawling philodendrons. The star apples are looking good. I'm gonna check the achacha tree because I thought I saw fruit ripening on it. I'm fairly certain that California could fix its water problems if they planted redwood trees every other olive tree. You know, or not olive, almond tree, because they have miles and miles and miles of almonds, but you need a tree that's going to harvest the water from the air, and with the help of the fungi. And then, of course, you'd have to like stay off the system and let the fungi do their job. They don't seem interested in fixing anything. They just do the same old crap, distract people. These things are starting to ripen. They're fairly big. I'm surprised how big they are. Oh yeah, we got a lot of these achacha tree, fruit trees. Probably if you're around here when they're ripe, then you could taste them, but they're in such high demand, and we have such, that's our first tree that started fruiting, so once this one gets up in production and then we'll be able to offer more to the public, but they're just, the demand outweighs the amount we have, so it's like scary. And they are the first biodynamic achachas in the world, I'm sure, and probably organic would be my guess. Certified organic. I'm sure the native people in Bolivia grow them organically. So these are my seeds that I start, citrus and Atemoya together, and I don't bother watering these pots. Because they have a hole in the bottom, and I can plant those little trees out in the drought. If they were bigger, I would have, but so here's that Costa spiral ginger. Beautiful flower. Beautiful flower. There's that other, like an awapui. The one I squeezed got all these, looks like seeds coming out of it. It has the scent and the juice like the awapui, but it's evergreen, those two yellow ones. I got lots of these passion fruits. Look at how big these yellow passion fruit are. I mean, they're fat. Heliconias, of course. Canistel egg fruit. One called Delightful, from the Garden of Delight. I think they're in Homestead. I go over here and look at that. Just looking at this mango seedling with the dark foliage, the new foliage. It's usually a sign of a good fruit. Well, a lot of the times, not always. Well, good to me. I have peculiar tastes. Let me go over here and look at this. Look at this stuff growing along here. So here's a seedling peach. Peach growed from seed. The guy that gave me those trees gave me this. He's a plant freak, like me. Like, worse, I think, than I am. He calls me worse, but I call him worse. Rollenia trees are getting quite big. You know, these are not watered Rollenias, and I'm sure that if I had watered them, they probably would have set fruit, but I have never watered these trees, so why start now? They've been in here for 5 years. Haven't needed any water. This is the first year that they did not drop their leaves during a drought, so I imagine this summer or next summer we will get fruit. Once they start being able to take the drought, then they should probably start being able to produce. So this Namdak Mai tree is like doing a big fourth. This is the 4th bloom. It didn't set fruit on the 2nd, but I got a okay first crop from this tree. I think I did a video of it, I'm sure. And now we have the 2nd crop coming in. The 3rd crop didn't set. And it looks like it's going to be a huge bloom. I mean, it looks like everything that didn't bloom already is blooming, and I think that that's going to go on with our mangoes. This one, of course, is got a lot of fruit on it. This is a Malika mango. Very productive trees. I like the fruit. I like it a lot, in fact. We got mangoes. There's another one hanging down here. Little tiny tree. Lots of fruit. There's only one left on that floor gone down there, and I'm gonna go down there. But yeah, our mangoes are starting to flower, big flower, and the Namdak Mai, I don't believe, has done even a second flower before. This is the first year it's done this strange stuff. So obviously, dry farm mangoes, water is as much of a trigger as freeze or cold. Cold's a trigger, they say. The one, you know, they listened to like 2 people about mangoes in Florida, 2 or 3 people. None of them are organic though, of course. The citrus is doing good. Makes me want to look at those other yeah, citrus that gets shade doesn't get those yellow leaves on it. There's a citron. These are all seed grown. Plants. Citrus. So jackfruit. They did not like the drought stress, but they seem okay. Giving them manure greatly increases their chance of survival. You know, the right type of manure in a drought situation, for sure. This was for, you know, mangoes from the freeze. None of our mangoes got any beetles in them. But we get fungi that's obviously in there, breaking it down internally. So obviously the fungi keeps the beetles away or in check. So here's some citrus. I just want to look at these citrus because these were our first citrus 2 years from seed. They started flowering, and they're 3 years old now, and they'll be 4 when this fruit ripens. But will you look at all the fruit on this tree? And it's not disease fruit. It's clean, unscarred fruit. This is dry farmed. I'm just surprised that people haven't caught on to this more. And I know that talking to the people at the tropical fruit thing, nobody does it like this. And obviously, if we're able to grow and fruit all these different plants from seed, that like cacao, which is supposedly trouble, citrus, which is supposedly trouble, and have them produce all this fruit, there's something to not using the water. Probably because the water's full of nitrogen, would be my guess, which inhibits the formation of mycorrhizae. That would be my guess. Okay, I've gotten most of the fruit off this Florigon, but there's still a couple left. I don't know if you can see all these wasps flying through here. No, I can't see them. Where are they? Oh, they moved. There was a lot of them. There's a big Achachairu right here, look at it. This one's like 7 feet, and maybe next year or the year after it will start producing fruit. Hopefully. If not, within 5 years it will, for sure. We have several trees that size now, which is nice. Just on the verge, just on the cusp of producing fruit. All dry farmed. It really makes me wonder what they have been teaching people here in Florida. Bananas are looking good. I'm gonna look at those sugar apples because they're doing good. Got about 175 bananas. Hopefully I'll have 300 by the end of this year. I'm a fiend. I divide. And that's all this ginger came from one plant. This is a torch ginger I planted in here. These are the mangoes that froze. Again, no beetles. You have pest issues because of the way you grow. Period. You have disease and mental illness because of the foods you consume. People are eating chemicals. They're like polluting their system and our system. Look at how big the sugar apple fruit is this year, and clean fruit. No black spots whatsoever, and there's a lot of fruit. There's a lot of fruit on there. And they're big already. They have several months to go before they're going to be ripe, but hopefully, and they're still producing. I mean, we obviously have like too many sugar apples, right? The Atemoyas are finally grown up and are gonna give me fruit that I can eat, because this is one of my favorite. It's my favorite Annona so far fruit. I like guanabana, but in a different way. I like Atemoya more than Cherimoya. I've had too many tasteless Cherimoyas, but very few of the Atemoyas have been tasteless. And the Gefner's fairly tasteless, but it's such a big fruit and it's so satisfying that and they produce so well. So none of these are pollinated. And I know that everyone chops them down real low because they say they grow the fruit off the main branch there, but that's not what I see going on. I see the fruit on the ends of the little branches. So I don't see any deep inside on the hardwood, on the big wood, the old wood. So I just don't believe that. It's Ilama, of course, looking good. Oh yeah, there's fruit, so much fruit on all this, these sugar apples. I know people really like sugar apples, and they're willing to buy them when they're not good representative of a sugar apple, because there's the seedy little sugar apples, and then there's the, oh my God, I gotta plant one of these trees, sugar apples. And hopefully I only am gonna sell the, oh my God, I have to grow one of these trees, sugar apples. Easily almost every tree has between 10 and 50 fruits on, which is what the average is, 10 to 50 fruits, without being watered. This is a Ilama that's didn't really like the drought. It's a grafted one. Genova Red, I'm not sure what it's grafted on, but it didn't like it. Yeah. We got the sugar apples this year. And the Atemoyas, it seems. I'm gonna have to go check our mother tree of our Priestley Atemoya, because that's always been a good producer, and it's where I was able to get seeds to grow a lot of these Atemoyas from. So I need to go do that. Anyway, so this is Frog Valley Tropical Fruit Farm, and that's our fruit. Have a good day.